Introduction. Welcome to the channel. Today, we are beginning an entirely new chapter in our journey through the Chronological X-Men summaries. We are stepping away from the main team to focus on the extraordinary solo adventures of one of its most brilliant founding members, found in the Three Beast era of our timeline. Up until now, we have watched this character grow as a student of Professor Xavier, but this series of stories marks a dramatic and permanent turning point in his life. The consequences of his own scientific ambition are about to change him forever, leading to some of the most iconic and tragic moments in his history. Part 1 Amazing Adventures Number 11, 1972. Dr. Henry, Hank McCoy is a founding member of the X-Men, known to the world as the Beast. Unlike many of his peers whose powers are entirely energy-based or telepathic, Hank's mutation is physical, granting him oversized hands and feet, incredible superhuman agility, and enhanced strength. However, beneath his somewhat ape-like exterior lies one of the most brilliant scientific minds on the planet. Hank is incredibly articulate, often using massive, complex vocabulary to mask his insecurities about his appearance. Despite his cheerful demeanor and acrobatic combat style, Hank has always longed for a deeper understanding of genetics, hoping to unlock the mysteries of his own mutation and perhaps, one day, find a way to blend in perfectly with normal humanity. Linda Donaldson is introduced as a brilliant and highly capable assistant at the Brand Corporation. Outwardly, she appears as a dedicated employee with a sharp mind, working closely with the top scientific talent at the prestigious genetics facility. Her beautiful and professional demeanor quickly catches the eye of her new colleague, Hank McCoy, who is immediately smitten with her. Linda represents the normal, successful human life that Hank so desperately craves, making her an anchor for his new civilian identity. However, beneath her warm smiles and scientific expertise lies a woman shrouded in deep secrets. She is far more than just a simple laboratory assistant, and her presence at the Brand Corporation is tied to hidden agendas that will slowly unravel, proving that she is a highly dangerous player in a much larger, darker game of corporate espionage and global manipulation. Our story begins in Amazing Adventures Number 11, where Hank McCoy makes the difficult decision to leave the X-Men. After a tearful farewell with Professor Xavier, Jean Grey, Cyclops and Iceman, Hank drives away from the Westchester mansion, eager to start a new life. He has accepted a position as a genetic researcher at the prestigious Brand Corporation. At Brand, Hank works under Professor Carl Maddox and Mr. Grant. He is assigned a beautiful assistant named Linda Donaldson, and Hank quickly falls for her. Throwing himself into his work, Hank makes a groundbreaking discovery, a hormonal extract that temporarily causes mutation. However, his triumph is cut short when he discovers that a corporate spy has infiltrated the facility, intent on stealing his research. Realizing he cannot expose his identity as an X-Man, Hank makes a fateful choice. He drinks the experimental extract, hoping the temporary mutation will serve as a disguise. The serum transforms him drastically, covering his body in thick, gray fur, granting him fangs, and increasing his animalistic strength. Operating completely on primal instinct, the Beast tracks down the spy and effortlessly subdues him. But the chaotic fight causes a delay. By the time Hank returns to his laboratory to consume the antidote, the critical time limit has passed. The chemical metamorphosis is complete and irreversible. Hank McCoy is permanently trapped in this monstrous form. Devastated, he constructs a highly realistic rubber mask and a pair of artificial human hands, vowing to hide his terrifying new reality from the world during the day, while prowling the night as the Beast. Part 2 Amazing Adventures Number 12, 1972. Tony Stark, the invincible Iron Man, is a billionaire industrialist and engineering genius who secretly operates as a high-tech armored superhero. Clad in a suit of weaponized power armor of his own design, Iron Man boasts incredible superhuman strength, flight, and a devastating array of repulsor rays and advanced weaponry. Outwardly, Tony Stark plays the role of a carefree playboy, but beneath that facade is a man deeply committed to protecting the world from advanced technological threats and corporate espionage. His vast resources and technological brilliance make him a formidable force, and his protective nature often drives him to investigate suspicious activities at rival scientific facilities, ensuring that dangerous genetic or weaponized research does not fall into the hands of those who would use it to conquer humanity. Jason Wingard, also known as Mastermind, is an extremely dangerous mutant with the terrifying ability to cast completely convincing telepathic illusions. He can alter the perceptions of anyone around him, making them see, hear, feel, and even smell whatever horrifying or mundane reality he wishes to project. Originally a member of Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Mastermind uses his powers not for physical combat, but for psychological warfare and manipulation. He is a master of deceit, preying on the fears and insecurities of his victims to bend them to his will. With a cruel and calculating mind, he stays out of the direct line of fire, preferring to watch his enemies tear themselves apart while trapped inside the flawless, nightmarish hallucinations he constructs to break their spirits. In Amazing Adventures number 12, Hank McCoy's life has become a daily struggle. Every morning, he painfully straps himself into a rubber mask and synthetic hands to maintain his human disguise at the Brand Corporation. The physical and emotional strain is immense. The situation grows infinitely more complicated when Tony Stark, secretly Iron Man, visits the facility alongside his fiancée, Marianne Rogers. Stark is investigating rumors of a spy ring operating within Brand. That night, Hank sheds his agonizing disguise to roam the grounds freely as the Beast. Unfortunately, Iron Man is also patrolling the area and spots the furry creature. Assuming the Beast is the corporate spy he is looking for, Iron Man attacks. A brutal battle ensues, with Beast's incredible agility matched against Iron Man's overwhelming technological firepower. During the clash, a mysterious mental interference clouds Hank's mind. Mastermind, watching from the shadows, projects a flawless illusion into Beast's brain. He makes Hank believe that in his primal rage, he has violently murdered Iron Man. Horrified by the false image of the lifeless Avenger, Beast flees into the woods in a panic, utterly convinced that his new mutation has turned him into a bloodthirsty killer. Part 3 Amazing Adventures number 13, 1972. Angelo Unishone, better known as Eunice the Untouchable, possesses a psionic force field that makes him virtually impervious to any physical harm. Whenever he is attacked, his mutant power instinctively generates an invisible, impenetrable barrier around his body that deflects punches, energy blasts, and projectiles. Not only does this field protect him, but it also forcefully repels anything that strikes it, often sending his attackers flying backward with tremendous momentum. Arrogant and utterly confident in his invulnerability, Eunice acts as the ultimate physical shield for his villainous allies. His untouchable nature makes him incredibly difficult to defeat in hand-to-hand combat, forcing his opponents to rely on extreme tactics, environmental hazards, or psychological warfare rather than brute strength to bypass his absolute defense. Amazing Adventures number 13 opens with Hank McCoy wandering the countryside, completely traumatized by the belief that he murdered Iron Man. Vulnerable and guilt-ridden, he is easily approached by Mastermind, who is accompanied by his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants allies, Blob and Eunice the Untouchable. Mastermind preys on Hank's fragile emotional state, convincing him that humanity will hunt him down for his crime. He offers Beast sanctuary within the Brotherhood, and a desperate Hank reluctantly agrees. The villains take Beast to a crowded carnival, using the distraction of the fairgrounds to plan a massive jewel heist. They order Beast to use his acrobatic skills to steal a priceless diamond. Hank complies, navigating deadly laser security grids to secure the gem. However, upon returning to the carnival, Mastermind's arrogance gets the better of him. When Beast questions their methods, Mastermind punishes him by casting an illusion of terrifying monsters. In that moment of clarity, Beast's brilliant mind puts the pieces together. If Mastermind can make him see monsters now, the death of Iron Man was also a fake. Enraged by the manipulation, Beast turns on the Brotherhood. Using his incredible agility, he bounces between Eunice's force field and the immovable mass of the Blob, causing the two villains to smash into one another. Free from his guilt, Beast escapes into the night. Part 4 Amazing Adventures number 14, 1972. Quasimodo is a unique and tragic artificial entity, originally designed by the Mad Thinker as a highly advanced sentient computer. Desperate to possess a physical form and experience true life, Quasimodo was eventually granted a grotesque, humanoid, robotic body. Driven by a deep-seated hatred for humanity and a burning jealousy of organic life, he constantly seeks to upgrade his cybernetic form and drain the life force of biological beings. Quasimodo is incredibly resilient, possessing vast robotic strength and a completely logical, calculating electronic brain that can anticipate and counter conventional attacks. However, his lack of human emotion and his rigid reliance on mathematical probability often serve as his greatest weakness, leaving him entirely unprepared for the chaotic, unpredictable, and instinctual actions of truly organic heroes. The tension continues to build in Amazing Adventures number 14. Hank McCoy, back in his agonizing rubber disguise, attempts to smooth things over with Captain Baxter, the head of security at the Brand Corporation, who is highly suspicious of Hank's recent absences. Hank manages to use his relationship with Linda Donaldson as an alibi, though the constant lying is beginning to wear on his soul. Later that evening, Beast is ambushed by Quasimodo, a deadly, sentient cybernetic monstrosity. Quasimodo has analyzed Hank's unique mutant metabolism and intends to drain his life force to finally become fully human. The robotic villain's immense strength and calculating computer brain make him a nearly impossible opponent to defeat in standard combat. Quasimodo anticipates Beast's every punch and kick. Realizing that a machine relies entirely on logic and predictable probability, Beast changes his tactics. He unleashes a barrage of completely irrational, wild gymnastics, moving with pure, unpredictable animal instinct. This chaotic assault overloads Quasimodo's ability to calculate his next move. In a desperate attempt to catch his erratic prey, Quasimodo lunges forward blindly, missing the Beast entirely and plummeting off the edge of a tall building. With the threat neutralized, Beast is left to ponder the strange intelligence reports Quasimodo mentioned. During their fight, hinting at a much larger conspiracy. Part 5 Amazing Adventures number 15, 1972. The Griffin, formerly an ordinary street thug, was transformed into a terrifying, monstrous creature through dark genetic experiments funded by the shadowy organization known as the Secret Empire. He possesses massive, razor-sharp claws, immense superhuman strength, and a pair of massive, feathered wings that grant him high-speed flight. Visually intimidating and highly aggressive, the Griffin is heavily reliant on his brute force and aerial superiority to overwhelm his targets. Though he is an incredibly dangerous assassin, he retains the simplistic, thuggish mentality of his past life, making him susceptible to being outsmarted by more intelligent foes. Bound to the orders of his mysterious handlers, the Griffin serves as a highly lethal enforcer, striking from the skies to eliminate anyone who threatens the Empire's covert operations. Warren Worthington III, the high-flying angel, is a founding member of the X-Men and one of Hank McCoy's absolute closest friends. Blessed with a massive pair of pristine, feathered wings that grow from his back, Warren is a master of aerial combat and maneuverability. Coming from a background of immense wealth and privilege, Warren possesses an inherent confidence and a heroic spirit. He shares a deep, brotherly bond with Hank, having trained and fought alongside him for years under Professor Xavier's guidance. Angel is deeply loyal, and when he senses that his old teammate is in trouble, he does not hesitate to fly directly into danger. His presence serves as a crucial emotional tether for Hank, reminding the mutated beast of the family and humanity he left behind in Westchester. In Amazing Adventures number 15, Hank McCoy awakens from a feverish slumber to discover a shocking secondary mutation. His gray fur has permanently changed to a dark, bluish-black hue. Before he can fully process this new alteration, he is violently attacked by the Griffin, a winged monstrosity dispatched by the Secret Empire to assassinate him. The aerial battle is brutal, with the Griffin using his flight and razor-sharp claws to gain the upper hand. Meanwhile, Warren Worthington, the high-flying angel, arrives in town looking for his old friend. Spotting the mid-air skirmish, Angel dives into the fray. He is initially completely unaware that the black-furred creature is Hank. Working together, Angel and the Beast manage to ground the Griffin and knock the Beast unconscious. Once the dust settles, Hank reveals his true identity to a stunned Warren. He explains his tragic transformation, and Warren promises to keep his secret, providing Hank with a much-needed alibi to satisfy Captain Baxter's suspicions. However, the issue ends on a sinister note. It is revealed that Hank's beloved Linda Donaldson is actually Agent 9 of the Secret Empire, and she was the one secretly monitoring his mutation all along. Part 6 Amazing Adventures number 16, 1973. Cain Marko, the unstoppable Juggernaut, is the stepbrother of Professor Charles Xavier. Unlike the X-Men, Cain is not a mutant. His immeasurable power comes from the mystical ruby of Sidorak. Once he begins moving, absolutely nothing on Earth can physically stop his momentum. He possesses incalculable superhuman strength, near absolute invulnerability, and is protected by a massive dome-like helmet that shields his mind from telepathic attacks. Driven by a deep-seated hatred for his stepbrother and the X-Men, Juggernaut is a walking force of pure destruction. His reliance on dark magic means that his presence is deeply tied to mystical dimensions, making him an overwhelming physical threat capable of leveling entire landscapes, completely crushing anyone foolish enough to stand directly in his path. Amazing Adventures number 16 takes the Beast to the legendary Halloween parade in Rutland, Vermont. For one night, Hank can walk freely among humanity without his painful disguise, as the massive crowd simply assume his blue fur and fangs are part of an elaborate, highly detailed costume. As he enjoys the carnival atmosphere, Beast's heightened senses alert him to a massive threat. He stumbles across the Juggernaut, who has been temporarily pulled back to Earth from the mystical Crimson Cosmos due to the magical energies of Halloween. Juggernaut recognizes Beast from his X-Men days and immediately attacks, seeking revenge. A desperate and destructive battle tears through the Vermont wilderness. Beast's agility allows him to dodge Juggernaut's lethal charges, but he cannot physically harm the magically empowered behemoth. The fight leads them to a local dam, where Beast uses the environment to slow his unstoppable foe. Hank soon realizes that the Juggernaut is fighting a losing battle against time. The magic anchoring Cain Marko to Earth is rapidly fading, causing the villain to age drastically with every passing minute. Realizing he will die if he remains on Earth, Juggernaut is violently sucked back into the other dimension. Hank watches his enemy vanish, left alone once again in the cold, dark woods. Part 7 Amazing Adventures number 17, 1973. Amazing Adventures number 17 serves as a poignant and highly introspective wrap-up to this era of Hank McCoy's solo adventures. Breaking the fourth wall, Hank speaks directly to the reader, setting up a condensed retelling of his original origin story from his early days with the X-Men. He reflects deeply on his youth, recalling the days when his mutation was limited to oversized hands and feet. He remembers his brief stint as a star football player, the prejudice he faced from small-minded humans, and his very first major battle alongside his teammates against the villain known as El Conquistador. Through these memories, Hank confronts the stark, tragic contrast between his past and his present. He was once a relatively normal-looking young man with a brilliant future, fighting for a world that hated him, but doing so alongside a family that loved him. Now, because of his own uncontrollable scientific hubris, he has transformed himself into a literal monster, alienated from the woman he thought he loved and isolated from his closest friends. Despite the heavy burden of his permanently furry, blue-black form, Hank McCoy comes to a powerful realization. He accepts full responsibility for his transformation. He is no longer the man he once was, but he is also no longer hiding in fear. With a newfound sense of resolve, he fully embraces his identity. He may be a monster in the eyes of the world, but he remains a hero at heart. The Beast prepares to step out of the shadows, ready to face whatever new challenges the Marvel Universe has in store for him. Conclusion. That wraps up our summary of this incredible era of the Beast's life. If you enjoyed this dive into X-Men history, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more chronological comic summaries.